Hey everyone, welcome back to Rally Caps. It's a podcast for artists, entrepreneurs, and everybody in between. I'm Steven.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Gene.
And we're back.
Yeah, rhyming again.
This is maybe like the fourth time we've been back, and it feels great. Not the first time we've said that before. No, we are quickly approaching the end of 2023, and we wanted to, one, hop back on and acknowledge the fact that we only were here for like 6 months of the year and talk about why that was the case, and two, say some thanks to you guys, the fans, for listening to the show and streaming the show, and then also talk about why we were gone. And do a little like year in review, but like half year in review, because we kept people pretty updated for the first 6 months of the year. So we're going to go through month by month. I've got some bullet points sketched out. So that's going to be the overarching structure for the show. But I want to start with the thanks, because y'all crushed it this year. Like, we looked at our Spotify Wrapped. I couldn't believe the stats we put up, that you guys put up, for only
Half a year.
half a year of a show. Like, it was incredible, honestly. Like, top 10 podcast for 589 fans. That's insane. I didn't even think we had 589 fans. Top 5 podcast for 330 of you guys. Insane. And then we were a top show for 57 people out there, which is like the coolest feeling ever. Thank you all so much for listening.
Thank you.
You guys made that possible. Like, I honestly can't believe that.
It's pretty wild to see, like, get DMs from people just being like, I can't wait for the show to come back.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, when we can get so involved in other things, it's hard to remember how valuable our conversations can be for other people.
It is. It's truly so exciting. And then on top of that, outside of Spotify streams and all of that, there was like another 20,000 downloads on the show through Apple Podcast and Google Podcast and all the other streaming services. So yeah, all in all, such a great 6 months, half a year.
6 months.
Such a great half year of Rally Caps. Thank you all for making those stats feel so special to us. And if you are listening right now and you haven't left a review or a rating on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts, if you could please take a moment to do that, that would be incredible. We would love to push the show out to more people, higher ratings, and more volume of ratings, really make a difference in signaling to these platforms that people like the show. So if you were one of those top fans, top 5, top 10 people who had us in your Spotify Wrapped this year, maybe consider leaving a quick review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Thank you so much. That's the first part of the show.
Perfect.
Look at that.
Yay.
Incredible.
Look at us.
Quick aside, Chad, I set manual focus, and I don't know if it's in focus anymore. Maybe just give it a little autofocus to manual focus bump.
We're a little rusty.
There we go. Boop. Just to make sure. Great. Now, yeah,
Switch
turn it
back
back
to
to
manual,
manual. Filmmaking.
Dude, look at you.
Anyway, sorry.
No, that was a perfect water break. That was
Okay,
really good.
Great.
I love
Hydration.
that. Sick. Okay, so going into the second part of the show. First part was so quick. We're just going to do a little trip down memory lane, little year in review from basically the end of May until now, December 5th, 2023, the day that we're recording this episode. So, end of May is when we posted our last episode. And I think it was right before, or right after, I should say. So we posted that episode, last one of the year. Well, not quite, but the episode with Carlo, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Great
People
video.
love that episode, one of our favorites of all time. And then we almost immediately left for what ended up being the second to last doc trip.
Yeah. We thought it would be the last.
We thought it would be the last.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
something surprising happened on that trip, which was Oliver was born
They
3
had the
weeks
baby.
early.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
For people who don't know, we did a documentary on Joe Greer all the last 2 years. And yeah, in the middle of that, they got pregnant with their first child. And on what we thought would be the last trip, Maddie went into labor 3 weeks early.
Yes, it was 10:30 p.m. the night before we were planning to get up at 5 with Joe to do one last run, interview, all that stuff. And he texts us. He's like, OMG. Maddie's water just broke.
We're like,
You're like, what?
Wait,
course.
what?
and then we didn't even see them on that trip.
We didn't.
Didn't even see them,
And
which
then,
was
yeah,
crazy.
Joe just filmed all the hospital stuff.
Yep, which is incredible. All on like an old flip cam. The footage looks amazing. So yeah, that was the end of May. Then we moved into June, which kind of felt, for the most part, dominated by our typical week-to-week, day-to-day work. A lot of editing, a lot of weddings. things of that nature, some commercial stuff. It was near the end of June that we really started to organize, plan out in Millinote, the structure of the documentary, and start really hit the ground running on editing that, which ended up being basically the thing that we did in July.
Yeah.
Yeah. July was a slog of a month.
Yeah.
That was a tough month.
Yeah.
July was brutal, right, Gene? Premiere Pro.
Well, yeah. Well, I wasn't there for a third of it because I was traveling in Europe then.
Oh, that's right.
Fancy
Wait,
pants.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
for vacation.
Yeah, how was Europe?
It was great. Celebrated our 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Took the kids with us. Went with some really close friends, but it was a blast.
Saw
It was
the
good
Mona
to.
Lisa.
Yeah, it was so underwhelming. Because you've seen it, right?
I
It's so
haven't.
okay.
I mean, I've seen it,
For
but
those,
it's not
I need to say
real
this.
life.
For those of you who plan on going to the Louvre to see the Mona Lisa, it's a complete waste of time. It's literally this big. It's like
Wait, do that with your hands
it's
again?
like that big.
Is it? Wait, really?
It's tiny, and then
There's
there's
not an 8x10.
it's tiny. Okay, maybe like an
8.5
inch
by
bigger than
11.
that. There's a long queue, a line that winds like this to see it. You probably have to wait 30 minutes to see it. Everyone's taking photos with their phone. I literally walked. It's like roped off. I walked by the side of it. I took a photo. I was like, that's cool. It's the same photo that you guys took. You guys are just waiting 30 minutes.
Yeah, did we say you just do warp perspective in
Yeah,
the
I was
Lightroom?
and also like there's so many beautiful pieces there, like the ceilings, like incredibly large pieces. And then yeah, the Mona Lisa was incredibly underwhelming. But sorry, wow.
That's such
Got
a good
heated
hot
for a
take
second.
from you.
Yeah.
I didn't expect those feelings to be bottled up.
I didn't know
hear that
either.
when
It
you
was
came
somewhere
back?
in there.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think I didn't. I see. This is why we needed to do the show more regularly, so that you could have gotten that off your chest back in June.
It's been 6 months, guys. I don't know. It's been tough holding that in.
Such strong feelings about our dear friend Mona.
Art.
So July, yeah, very dominated by the rough cut edit of the documentary.
did it.
But we did it,
Yeah.
July 31st.
which was our goal. We achieved that
Like, is that when we delivered it
Yeah.
for Ernesto?
very last day of the month.
Yeah.
Because I got back from vacation and you and Sabri were leaving for your
10-year.
10-year
Oh, that's right,
anniversary. So yeah, we had that one day of crossover, sent it off, and then
That was like the most relief I've ever felt in my life.
yeah.
I mean, we didn't need to go that hard.
No.
But we did because we thought we might have been submitting to Sundance.
And I'm happy that we had that as a deadline, because if we didn't have that kind of fire underneath us, I don't know when we would have made time for it.
I
accountability.
fully agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
because I would have gone on my trip and then like gotten out of the groove and yeah,
And then to see Joe's reaction to it was like the most rewarding thing maybe ever.
for sure.
So that was great. Well, not, but good in its own right.
Yeah.
August was a lot of polishing that edit and the official last doc trip. And that was just Eric and I.
Just you two, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Which was very fun. It was
Yes.
a very, very quick trip.
Yep.
Only 48 hours, maybe less, I think. Down and back.
What did we even shoot on that one?
Super 8.
Oh yeah.
We did the in-home session photos with
Oh,
them,
that's
and then
right.
footage with Oliver,
Yeah.
which was really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a fun, very fun trip. We also went to that restaurant with Joe. What was the name of it? It was like amazing. Was it like a
the
Korean,
Korean
fusion?
fusion.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness!
Sorry you missed it, Gene.
I know.
It's not cool. The one time I don't go, you guys. Oh yeah, that's cool. Whatever.
Well, their
It was
favorite
in
their-
memoriam of
Their
you.
favorite New York City restaurant came to Franklin, Tennessee.
a lot of the restaurants, it seems like, have come from New York to Franklin, from what Joe has said.
Yeah,
Which is crazy.
It does feel like Franklin is becoming this hub of
really fascinating.
respite for all the cool artists from major cities.
Yeah, a lot of really interesting artist culture there. It's very cool.
Very
Very
cool
unexpected. Very cool town.
Very cool town.
We have spent a lot of time there for people that have never grown up in Tennessee or in the South or anything. Like, we spent a lot of time in Franklin,
A
Tennessee.
lot of time in Tennessee.
Yeah, I got that cool. What was the coffee shop? Highbrow.
Yeah,
That
Highbrow.
T-shirt was really cool. That coffee shop was really great.
Mellow Mushroom with our buddy
Oh
Jacob.
my! Wait,
Can we tell this?
Go
we
back
have
to
tell this
May.
story.
We have to go back.
Okay,
oh, I
we
forgot
go,
about
we
this.
go to Mellow Mushroom in downtown Franklin.
This is May of 2023.
Pizza place,
Yeah.
well-renowned pizza place in Franklin, Tennessee, and we were finishing up the trip, one of the final dinners, and we get this server, Jacob, and
Legend.
that sweet baby Jacob. He was maybe the most like stereotypical sounding California surfer dude. But yeah, is that the best description?
He was mellow. I'll say that.
He was mellow.
He was pretty mellow.
And probably on mushrooms, yeah.
My best impression of him goes something like, "Hey guys, welcome to Mellow Mushroom. Today you can get anything on the menu as long as you prefer it, and I definitely recommend everything. So let me know if you need anything. I'll be back with some waters." That's his vibe. So we order, do the whole thing, and like I was kind of in a goofy mood. So then I don't know how it happened, but we just started calling him Sweet Baby Jacob.
I really want to trace back why and how we got to Sweet Baby Jacob.
Because we just loved him.
Oh no, it was because one of you guys
Because it
said
was sweet,
you just want to
right?
like hold him
Yeah.
and just it was something like that.
What a sweet kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think Baby got added.
It got into like Talladega Nights.
After Gene's incident with our baby
So
boy.
Jacob comes to the table with our pizzas, and he hands Steven and I our pizzas, and he goes to hand Gene his, and he thinks Gene's holding it. Gene's definitely not holding it yet, and the whole pizza just folds in half onto the table and onto Gene. And Gene, being the sweet soul that he is like, no, don't worry about it. It's totally fine. Everything's fine. It's all good. We're good. And we're like, no, Gene, get another pizza. And immediately, without a beat, Jacob drops the pizza on Gene's lap. And immediately the first thing he says is, this could be a good thing for you. And I'm like, oh, why?
Oh, do tell why this could be a
This
good
could be
thing.
like, I'll definitely I'll put another order in for the kitchen and you'll get another pizza. So it's like, it could be a great thing. Just like, you could basically just have two pizzas.
2 pizzas for the price of one. And I'm looking at the table. I'm like, well, half the pizza's on Gene's lap. So that doesn't count as pizza anymore. That's lap pizza. And the other half is face down.
And Gene's like trying to start eating it. I'm like, stop.
It
Get
turned into
another
a
one.
calzone.
It was dirty table, wet side down. Not what you want out of your pizza experience. So needless to, did you actually eat any of it?
I think I ate like maybe half of a slice, but
You were the hungriest of all of us.
I
too.
was but it was so funny because I can't remember, one of you guys kept saying Sweet Baby Jacob and talking about him when he was like a booth. Oh,
Yeah,
was
it was
very-
me.
you were bad.
I
You
was
were
being
It
loud.
was so
The
bad.
two of you were sitting next to each other, and I was sitting
That's right.
opposite both of you, and
And I
so I
couldn't
had
see
a
him.
pretty
You could see
good
Jacob.
sight line of where Jacob was in proximity to us, and so I'd be like,
Dude, Eric went off. You were definitely feeling good. You were just talking on him nonstop.
I think it was the last night of the trip. I think
Yeah,
we were
we
kind
were
of celebrating.
excited.
Oh, it was,
we were
yeah,
pretty-
But then we came back and I asked the server, I was like, is Jacob here tonight?
Yeah, wait, so, okay, that was, the lap pizza was
And there
May
were
2023, August 2023. We literally asked for him by name at Mellow Mushroom. We're like, hey, is there any chance a guy named Jacob is working here tonight? And I think, wasn't there like, they had two Jacobs.
Jacobs.
Yeah. And we're like,
uh,
that's, no,
No.
that's not
I
our
think
sweet
stopped-
baby
that's not
boy.
He
that
stopped
him.
working there, yeah.
He was fired after he heard about
Yeah.
the lap pizza. No, he was very sweet. He actually was very, very kind.
He was
just
nice.
didn't have good hand-eye coordination. It's so brutal.
So August, we started refining the dock.
Yes.
I can't
and,
remember.
yeah.
I can't remember last week, so I don't know where anything falls into place.
That's what I wanted. I went through the calendar
great.
because I was like, we need to recap all this because a lot of it, you always get to like the end of a year and you say, oh man, that year went by so quickly. It didn't. So
Yeah.
much happened. Like so much life happens in all that time, but it's easy in retrospect to be like, oh, it was just a blur. And there was so much stuff that was not a blur, was a slog, was a lot of work, like pretty intense months and weeks at a time. So we wrap up in August, mostly maybe 90% done edit at the dock, 10% left to go going into September. And September was kind of like more of a mishmash month of like all of us doing our own stuff, all kind of collectively working on the documentary, but again, weddings that we're attending to, individual projects, commercial work, clients that we all have to take care of. A lot of studio time, a lot of editing, nothing on the calendar for travel, at least for me, I don't think, in September, which was a nice break. But then moving into October, probably collectively the hardest month of the year for all of us, I think, work-wise.
Yes.
I know definitely for Eric and I. October, how was that for you, Gene?
I can't remember.
Cool. That bad, huh?
Oh, it was. I shot a few weddings, so that kept me busy, kind of finishing up my wedding season. But I can't remember.
Cool.
The past few months have been just feels like nonstop.
You traveled, is that when you started for IHG or that was November?
That was October.
You were editing a lot.
That was October, and that's when we also went on our trip to Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toronto was the highlight of the month.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Eric and I, as you were doing weddings, IHG,
Yeah.
all of that, we were chipping away at our friend Jay's feature film called Rerun.
Oh, that's right. That was October too.
Which was a lot of October
Yeah.
for us.
Oh,
like an intense amount of October.
2 full weeks.
Yeah.
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 2 full plus all of the other pre, mid, and post production that we were kind of contributing to that as well.
Yeah.
That was like the defining project of the month. But I think Toronto was the personal highlight for the three of us.
Yeah.
Which probably want to talk about the most of anything.
Yeah,
honestly,
it was the
'cause it was
best.
very recent. I think still pretty fresh in memory for all of us. And it was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
It's
so
incredible.
cool. Like, why did we go there? Gene, why were we in Toronto?
We were going there because you guys connected with Mark Bone he runs AOD, Art of Documentary. And I think you guys at that time coordinated to do a small screening, right? Which it was small, but it was big at the same time. And so you guys went ahead of time because Eric was actually running a half marathon with Mark to pace him. So you guys went a few days before I did. I joined you guys, I think, early that week, and you guys went over the weekend. And then we held that private screening, essentially, for the documentary.
Yeah. It was larger than we initially thought, but still, I think, 12 of us in total?
Yeah, small, like physically in number.
Yeah.
Very important people, though, to watch it. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. We were really doing this to seek feedback because at this point in time, October 2023, we're like 98, 99% done with the edit for the doc. And we're like, we need to seek some outside counsel, some advice from other filmmakers to just kind of get an idea of, are we on the right track?
Yeah.
Like, does this make sense? We have been so deep in it for so long. Let's just get some other eyes on this and get some feedback. And that's exactly what we got. It was incredible to sit in that room with the people that showed up. Like, I still can't believe it, honestly. It was a dream come true. It was so fun. Like making new friends and then turning internet friends into real friends.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Mark in particular was just so generous to host us in the way that he
It
did.
was insane.
His whole team was there to help. Like it was just such an incredible amount of generosity on their part to do what they did for us. Totally went above and beyond, and for everyone who was there to come and share their time and their thoughts with us, we felt very special.
Really valuable input to our final version of what the documentary will be, which will end up being the public screened version. So that was insanely helpful, rewarding, encouraging, and like people that we've looked up to for years in the industry who like we value their voice and their thoughts so much because of the volume of work and artistry that they've all created in that room. Super mind-blowing.
Yeah, that's such a fun trip.
Yeah.
He's the best.
And just such a deep relationship with Mark now too.
Yeah, he's such a special guy.
He's incredible.
Yeah, Mark, we can't wait to get you on Rally Caps next year.
Heck yes.
He just did his own little tour of podcasts, which was awesome. I was like, oh, I'm seeing so much of him. I'm hearing him. It was very cool, actually, to get to, not to spoil, because he'll probably want to talk about this. He might have a book written about it at this point. Yeah. But we talked a lot with him about his theory on turbulence. Which was so cool. And he talked about it a lot with Carlo and with the McManus, Irwin, and I don't know his son's name, actually, the Mindshift podcast as well. Really cool to like hear that before he talked about it on the shows, because I was like, I know exactly what he's about to dive into. Nice. He's the best. So, also like, oh no, this is the next month. Yeah. Okay. So that's October. Going into November, we launch our first clothing brand.
Yes, sir.
Merch brand, clothing, lifestyle, community-based brand.
Yeah.
Get Bored Make Stuff, which you both are wearing right now.
Boom.
Reppin'. Boom.
GBMS. Ampersand.
Get it.
There we go. Nice for the people watching on YouTube.
Yeah, that was very, very cool.
Yeah.
To finally get that out, because we've been cooking on that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the idea first came up in your video for short film you posted almost 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Eric.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. My phone is ruining my creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Came up with that line. It seemed like it resonated with so many people, given our current situation with the internet and being a creative person.
Yes.
So, yeah, we had conversations like that would be a great phrase to put on a T-shirt. That would be a great phrase to kind of build a brand on. So that was always just something that was cooking in the back of our minds.
Yep.
And it did feel like this year was kind of that tipping point of client work and sponsorships and all of these like clients and brand deals that we have been doing, pushing us in a direction where we want to make something of our own.
Yes.
Of our own to promote.
Yes.
Of our own that we fully believe in and can be in control of. Am I right in saying that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, speaking of, if you want to support the show and what we're doing here,
Yep.
check it out in the link in the description of YouTube or Spotify or podcast. All the show notes, everything's going to have Get Bored Make Stuff linked in it. So if you have no idea what we're talking about right now, you can go get a visual on what it actually looks like. And if you have already purchased something, thank you very much. I think that's what we want to kind of use as like our own self-sponsorship instead of having other ads and stuff on the show. It's just like,
For sure.
here's our own stuff. And by the time that you are listening to this episode, I think we're already going to have some of the free digital downloads available on the site as well, including some of the original iPhone and desktop wallpapers that I made in conjunction with Eric's video like 2 years ago, bringing those back to the surface, having those available on the website, totally free. Just go enjoy them, download them, use them as a reminder on your phone and on your laptop to take a break and just go out and get bored to make something.
Also, Steven's too modest to say this himself, but he has really spearheaded everything with Get Bored to Make Stuff. All of anything you see on the website, any of the designs, that's all him. Something that he finally gets to flex a little bit for the public. That's not just on Instagram or YouTube. So he's shaking his head because he knows it's true. But really, like all the stuff you see there, Steven has really curated what the look is. And then he is really the one who's kind of, spearheading everything for the brand.
And it's a manifestation of so much of your interests coming together and like being able to express those things and years of working in design now, just kind of behind the scenes quietly. And surely people are seeing that in your own work on, your personal channel and Instagram here and there and whatnot. But this dude's been in Illustrator quite a bit the past 3 years. And seeing it come to fruition first in a clothing brand where you get to put stuff on merchandise, which you also love.
Yes.
Is
It's very exciting.
really cool.
It's something I've wanted to do for years. Like I when we launched it that day, I immediately thought back to college when I first got Illustrator as part of my like student Creative Cloud membership that I had included with my program. And I had a regular schedule that I practiced in Illustrator. And the reason it was regular is because it was during my environmental science class, 3 days a week in college, which ended up being one of my favorite classes for the content of the class, but it was also where I absolutely was just in Illustrator the entire time, learning how to do very, very basic things and to think about like that being the origin 7 years ago, to see like the slow progress of where it is now, to feel relatively proficient in it is very exciting, and to get to share that with people is like the same feeling as sharing a short film or a photo set that you're really proud of. It's like that's a very cool way to express yourself as well.
You in a different way, like you care so much more about things like existing in the real world.
Yeah.
And so do you find yourself way more excited about like seeing people hold something you made versus view something you made?
I think generally speaking, yes. Yeah. It really strikes a chord with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd feel the same way if they like held a print of a photo that I made versus looking at it on a screen. Obviously changes a little bit when it comes to like films, because you can only see that on a screen. But in general, I think it's just like, it's a totally different feeling, you know, like seeing people wear your shirts that you design is like such a cool thing. And it's already gotten me thinking about what other collaborations we can do with other brands and things outside of the current inventory that we have access to and materials that we can work with. Branching outside of that and doing stuff with like Ebbets or Oxford or Field Notes, which we talked about recently, and like things like that, like start to branch out and
it's pretty crazy.
Just kind of, spread our wings a little bit. And
We already chatted with the CEO of a pretty large company.
that too, yeah,
Just because he saw let's launch this thing.
for the community side of things too, which is really cool.
It opens up so many doors. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a whole other branch that I'm excited to see flourish. Like outside of things that you can either download for free or purchase, or like physical goods that you can purchase or receive as a gift or whatever, like being able to do and host an event or some kind of get bored retreat is really exciting. And we're going to touch more on that, I think, in the first episode of the year, because there's a lot of exciting stuff on the docket for GBMS.
And that's where we hint at the fact that this is not just a clothing brand.
Right. And as fun as it is to bring physical things into the world, it's also cool to just like host physical spaces in the world as well. Like it's all, I think, rooted in something a little more analog. Is the direct purpose of it is to do things that feel a little more intentional, a little more face-to-face, a little more physical. So yeah, that was very exciting to finally get that out there.
Pop off, King.
Pop.
Okay, in other news, this year, Gene crossed 10,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes, he
Had a
did.
video
Let's go.
Psycho. With like over 300,000 views.
Yeah, how did
And
it
then
feel
he
to go
never
viral?
posted again.
Whoops.
Yeah, wait, we posted our last episode of Rally Caps, and then you posted your last YouTube video around the same time, actually.
Yeah. No, it's been, I think for me, one, didn't anticipate that happening to that video. But two, it was good for that to happen and then see what happened afterwards, which nothing happened. I didn't make anything. And like for me, it was kind of affirming that my intentions have been where I wanted them to be. Because I think most people, when that happens, when a video goes viral for whatever their size of the channel is, I think the immediate thought is, I need to capitalize on this. I need to make another video. I need to put something out right now. And I literally have been quiet for 5 months right after that. That video did what it did. I saw the stats. I saw it climbing. And there's like nothing in me that said, I need to make something right now. In fact, there's like the opposite. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So stoked that happened. But I feel little to no desire to make something for YouTube right now.
You've also felt like you don't know what you want to make.
Yeah, I think like that video did what it did, but it was also pretty far from the general content I've been making. And so, yeah, I think it's a bit of an identity crisis too. Why did that video do so well?
What is happening in the hallway?
Is that Zamboni?
What is that?
Is that a Zamboni? I think it's a floor cleaner. It's like a...
I thought it was rain outside. All right, well, hey, you're in the Zamboni part of the episode now, I guess. Just keep going.
At least it's clean.
Hopefully it goes away.
Yeah. It's not going away.
It's not. It's fine.
It is fine.
So you're viral.
No, well, no. But I think that was affirmation that what I want to start making will be pretty different from what I've made for 2.5 years now. And whether it gets views or not doesn't really matter so much to me. I'm going to make it anyways. So yeah, it'll be nice. I'm actually going to post a video pretty soon. It'll be the first video in nearly 5.5 months. So very excited about that. I don't even care about like how the video performs on YouTube. I really care more about making something that's in alignment with what I've made previously. They're trolling us.
Oh, that's like right outside now.
You could hear it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's loud.
Oh, yeah. It is not subtle.
It's definitely the floor cleaner.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be too long.
That's fine.
That's all I got though. Yeah.
Are you
And then-
excited?
no, wait, but also,
But also-
both of you like blew up on Instagram this year too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I also don't post a lot on Instagram lately. I just like everything on
People
the
like
internet.
it.
People
Outside of
like
like GBMS and just promoting I'm like,
But y'all been shooting a lot of film and sharing a lot of your film work.
Yes.
I have a lot of film I haven't shared too. I was looking through my archives today and I've shot
Dude, sitting on a gold mine.
so much film.
Yeah.
Also costs so much money.
Yeah.
So
pain.
I need to make another viral video.
yeah, basically.
Pay for all that film, that one box.
But yeah, you had a super cool collaboration with Memento.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did do
T-shirts?
that in November as well. That was my first ever licensing deal.
The 4 iterations.
There were 4 images licensed across 3 shirts. One of the shirts had 2
2 on it.
on
One I
it, which
own.
is the one that you got. Yeah. Yeah, that was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pretty surreal experience. Similar to GBMS, where it was like that, but taken to a different level.
Yeah, because it wasn't
of
your design; it
intentionality.
was your film photography work
Yeah.
printed on a very nice T-shirt.
Yeah, I mean they do Memento. Shout out to Scott, who is the founder of Memento, and also friends with the West brothers from Bandit, which is really cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's very good
the
friends.
crossover of worlds.
I know, it's really wild.
Joe signed with Bandit.
Yep.
Joe, documentary Joe signed with Bandit, a running company.
Which we ended up shooting for at CIM
Yes,
last year
yes.
randomly.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that
I'm
was the-
now very connected to
Oh
Bandit.
my goodness, that's
Yeah.
right.
Very bizarre, like how deep that went.
Yeah.
Yeah, without us really even thinking about what it would grow into.
Yeah.
We just kind of did that for them very last minute.
That was
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true that people who make good things
Mm-hmm.
and that care about the things that they make and like creativity all tend to know each other.
Yes. Yeah, which is the case with Scott and Bandit, and yeah, Memento is like a very cool, basically startup
This
analog clothing brand where it's kind of merging the worlds of printed photography with fashion, and they do everything in the U.S. and the shirts are some of the nicest shirts I've ever felt in my life, and it was a really cool way to bring digital art offline. That's their whole mission, is to just bring things offline and do that in a way that people can wear art in a very cool way. Very thoughtful packaging, like everything top to bottom is just
So
like
cool.
some of the most, like being able to talk with Scott in depth about all of it and hear the process behind everything was really cool. I was like, man, that's like a dream of mine, honestly, to do one day. It was like, it was very, very, very cool. And so just to get to collaborate with them in that capacity was very exciting. And for that to be like a stills licensing deal is very exciting as well. Definitely checked off a lot of boxes for me.
I didn't tell you. I like shot half a roll of film of opening my shirt, so I'm really excited to see.
Did you actually?
What that
Oh,
looks
that's
like.
awesome.
cool.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, there's
That's
like
sick.
4 rolls on my desk I need to get developed.
Sick. That's awesome.
Yeah, I alternatively have shot like 0 film this year.
Oh,
Yeah, not really, but
you saved a lot of money.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, it's so expensive. but yeah, hey, there is something to be said about like you shoot it and then a licensing thing comes up.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's worth it.
All 4 of the images that were licensed, all shot on film.
Yeah.
yep,
Pretty sick.
Interesting.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
pretty cool.
and that brings us to December.
Does it? Did
Oh,
we talk about
December.
November?
November was largely GBMS. What else happened in November?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving happened in November.
We finally got to chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I had to get through some edits.
Oh, actually, you know what? This is a good last thing to talk about. The kind of the thing that we've really been chipping away at for months, which is our music bed contract as well.
Yes.
And all of those videos. I think November was kind of dominated by shooting
Yeah.
for that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because for a lot of reasons, Gene and I have had a rough go about it this year. We've had a lot of things we've needed to make and had
Yeah.
a lot of trouble catalyzing.
These sad boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aren't we all sad boys?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It's all sometimes. And it took us a little bit to get there, but my short film was published yesterday, and
Yeah.
yours, Gene, will be published
This week, hopefully.
this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, within the next 6 or 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels good to actually have that out now. And I think what you and I were both saying too is like, it's nice to achieve that and get through that goal
Yeah.
to then almost free yourself up mentally to then pursue some other things. It's the same feeling as like when you have a huge wedding backlog that you need to
Yeah.
edit. And when
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
through that, you're like, oh, I can finally think about other things.
Yeah.
I can finally devote my time
Yes.
to other things.
Yeah, like making an episode of Rally Caps.
Like making an episode of Rally Caps. Wow. That's so full circle. It's true. It's true. Like we don't have nearly as much stuff in the backlog as we did even just a month ago.
Yeah.
Feels so good.
It feels so good. And that brings us here. And
Well, what's really exciting about that now is we're staring at a future where it's like we can take things or leave them.
yes,
It doesn't feel like we're so tied to a large project like the doc.
yes,
Which we will need to now move into distribution,
Yep.
premieres, all that. Hopefully, all of first quarter of 24 will be planning and executing all of that.
Yep.
That's different, completely different functionally. While Steven and I took the reins of editing the film, Gene's going to really head up that project on the administrative
Yep.
level and making that stuff happen. So definitely be on the lookout. We'll for sure talk about it on the podcast and Instagram and everywhere about those premieres because we know a lot of people are really wanting to see it.
yes.
But what's super exciting is now that we have GBMS and we can kind of dream of our own things that we are building, we're now staring at a future having completed a year full of super laborious projects. Now, it's a really exciting time. I love this time of year because you start to get really reflective. You start to plan for the coming year. And it's like you could do that at any point. But, a lot of stars line up with contracts ending and things coming to a close.
Sponsored athlete contracts beginning, things like that.
Things like that.
Little things like that.
Just all the exciting things that we're moving into. So while a lot of these months have been challenging, the past 6 months, I don't know, I feel the most excited I have since probably like the beginning of starting the doc.
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't excited throughout the doc, it was just so hard.
Yeah.
And
And you're so in it that it's hard to see where or when an end will be.
yeah.
But now that we have something, we get to shift creative gears and think about all of this in a different light now. The idea of more producer type responsibilities laying ahead of us is in a weird way kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't mean we have to sit behind like a screen in
Yeah.
a timeline in Premiere as much anymore. Like it's just nice to be able to engage different parts of your creativity in whatever capacity that looks like. And I think dreaming up how the in-person private screenings will look and feel is something that we all care about so much. And that will be very exciting for us to actually put together.
That's
very
going to
cool.
be wild. That's a different kind of manifesting, like the printed on t-shirt kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
That will feel like the pinnacle of our careers, I believe.
Yes, it most definitely will.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to touch more on that, I think, in our January 1st, 2024 episode that we'll be dropping on January 1st, which, spoiler alert, we're probably going to record right now. So
Batch recording.
we will tie things up there, even though there's still more things to be said, and talk about more of 2024 and the goals that we have and the things that we're already working on that will be probably in effect by January 1st in that episode. So
Okay, but also, is this the next? This is the first one coming back, and then when is that one with that one person gonna go?
that
live?
one, oh yeah, that one with that one person whose name is definitely Danny Gevirtz is oh man, yeah. Hey, if you stuck around until the very end, here's
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Definitely should have said this at the very beginning of the episode. And you know what? I'm gonna say it as if I did say it at the beginning of the episode. No, I'm not. Sorry, I was getting hand signals from our producer Chad,
producer.
who we're gonna talk about more in the next episode as well. In May, Danny Gevirtz, dear friend of ours, came to Chicago and did a private screening of his brilliant film, I Think I'm Sick. We were very, very lucky to host his, kind of be the hosts, the hometown heroes of that event, host the after party at our studio, and also we surprised him with a red carpet interview, multicam, whole almost live audience type interview with him. He was totally shocked by it. It was an absolute blast to do a follow-up episode with him. He loved it so much. That episode, even though it was recorded 6 months ago, will be coming out on December 18th. Thank you, producer Chad. So when that episode comes out, the only reason we're saying this right now, it took a long time to edit because it was very chunky footage, multicam. It was a whole ordeal, and we had everything that we just talked about for the last 40 minutes in the way of getting that one out. When that episode comes out, Eric and I are going to have considerably shorter hair. And
Can you guys show your hair right now?
And
Just for those who have stuck around. Show the hair. Show the hair.
I have headphones on. I can't right now.
Ooh.
I have a mullet that was a bad decision, and I'm getting that cut next week.
What?
And no,
It's not a bad decision.
it was a fine decision.
Oh, come on.
It was.
I'm
It's,
going to turn mine into that.
it's a little.
soon.
It's a little much. But
It's the most hair I've ever had on my head.
when you see and hear that, that's why we look so different and sound so different. And because we talk about things in the past tense, I'm sure in that episode, it was 6 months ago. We're going to add a disclosure at the beginning of that episode as well, just so you're well aware of the time that it took place. But that episode is so good. We are so excited to share it. And I really cannot wait for y'all to hear it and watch it. Yes, December 18th, Danny Gewirtz, Hiatus, Chicago. Collab.
Okay.
Handshake. Thank you for being here, sincerely. And we'll see you in the new year.
We're back, baby.
We're back. And we're going to stay back,
Yeah.
okay? We're saying it right now. We're staying back in 2024.
No cap.
There's no hiatus, no Fallout Boy, 10 years of nothing, and then suddenly we're back as a band. No, we're staying in. We're doing it.
This is the last We're Back video ever. All right.
Oh, whoa. Bet.
Gene, I did not like the skepticism in your voice.
No. I'm a very optimistic person. I'm just, yeah.
Love you all.
Bye.